We have a wave of change in technology. I mean, big wave is coming.
A lot of other industries, they are riding on the wave. But as actuaries, I don't think we are there yet now.
Yeah.
It's about whether we can go in and embrace
Okay.
the wave.
Like-
If we just rely on AI to generate a model, do you think that you can just tell, oh, the AI made something wrong, the AI made mistake, blame the AI? It should never be. Because after all, it will be human
Yeah.
to sign off what
Agree.
built by the AI.
To jest podcast KPMG ON AIR. Lekko o biznesie. Subskrybuj nasz kanał na YouTube, obserwuj podcast na Spotify, by nie przegapić żadnego odcinka.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tomasz Domkowski. I'm a partner in KPMG Poland, and I lead the advisory practice for the insurance market in our country. And welcome our guest, Kahei Choi from Aon. Welcome. Thank you very much for take this opportunity and talk with me today. I know that you are really busy, but I'm really happy that you have this moment to be here in our office. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Aon is a well-known label, broker with a global exposure, but it's not only about the risk itself, it's also the software, technology. Is it correct?
I think we are definitely more than a broker and a reinsurance solution provider. Yeah, but because of the nature of Aon working closely with insurance companies and handling challenges that the insurance market is facing, it's very natural for us to step into the technology space. So that's why right now, actually, within Aon, we have quite a strong pillar of technology expertise and also providing technology solutions to our clients, covering both property and casualty, as well as life solution as well.
Great. And can you tell more about your role in this organization?
Right now, I'm a managing director overseeing the life technology of Aon across EMEA and the UK. When we talk about life technology, this is something that maybe in the market, a lot of people find that it's a bit new concept that Aon is entering into the life space. But actually, we've been in supporting life insurance clients for long. In the past, it's mainly reinsurance and brokerage, but now we are also bringing technology solutions to our client. One of the key technology solutions that we are bringing to the market is Pathwise. This is a GPU-enabled engine that allowing clients to have a different scale of speed gain in terms of the calculations of actuarial modeling.
So I understand your field is life, business, and Pathwise is one of the dominant tool that you are working with.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you for this. And so our discussion, the plan is to discuss about the technology. But let me start with the observation I have from my, let's say, career path. So the last 20, 30 years before big wave, I would say, AI solution, I remember my time when I started to work for one of the insurer, when I started to build the models for cash flow modeling in life business, that we follow the technology development. We all know about this Moore's law that we will speed up. So hardware developed fastly. After the hardware, there was the software that followed this. And then we, as a young actuaries, worked for new model to have a faster model. So we had such view. And I remember this time where we discussed that if we speed up our models, we have more time for coffee, and it was true. We speed up our models, and then
You have more time to sleep as well.
Yes, sleep as well. Yeah, I agree. Even coffee. but then there was our managers that recognized that we can calculate more, and they ask more questions. They ask for more scenarios. Do you have the same observation? And then I would like to jump to this new situation we have with AI. Do you think it's changed the way we think about how we develop our models for the next 10, 20 years? What do you think?
Definitely. Maybe I try to answer your first question.
Sorry, it was very long.
Before we jump into the AI conversations, I share a very similar observation as you did. I've been specializing on actuarial modeling for over 20 years now. Globally, I've been covering modeling implementation, modeling optimization work in the live actuarial space across the group. I have led projects in Asia, in the US, and also across EMEA and UK before. And one thing that I observe in our industry, one particular area that we've been constrained by is how we look at the actuarial technology improvement. Because you are right that from a business leadership standpoint, more, faster is always the objective.
And also regulators,
And also regulators. Yeah. So that one is no doubt. And people even asking, can you do that real time? Right?
Yeah.
So this is something that's quite very natural. But I always ask my fellow colleagues, fellow actuaries on how do you want to achieve that? On what constraint we've been facing in order to achieve that? A lot of them came back to me and say, wow, we have a lot of constraint because there's this constraint in the traditional actuarial modeling framework that you can just put that many CPU cores into the run. There's another constraint is if we want to do an upgrade to the model, it may take us several years, multiple millions, just to rewrite the code to optimize and use new technology. So that's linked back to a particular point, which is our existing actuarial model future-proof? Because Tomek, when you describe that, okay, there's a Moore's law thinking about if we add more technology or putting more technology to the model, things will get faster. But it only applied when we have a future-proof architecture to the model that we have been using. But it's very unfortunate that what I see in the market, a lot of the traditional actuarial software, they are constraining actuaries to embrace new technology, to embrace future-proof kind of a mindset. Then recently, I've been talking to one of my clients, and then he also asked me this question because we are introducing Pathwise or new ideas, how Pathwise look at actuarial modeling architecture to them. Then they asked me, the question is, well, how will we ensure that this will be future-proof or as they already working on a not very future-proof traditional software for long? How could they move from that kind of existing model into a new one like Pathwise? So that is a very interesting conversation that start involving AI.
Maybe adding to this, if you could also say, how mature is AI currently on our field? Do you think this is something we could say that is mature enough, or we are very beginning? What is the age of AI now? I mean, this is the young boy, 10 years boy or girl, or it's a 15, 20, or it's 40 years adult man? What do you think?
I think if you look at the stock market now, then they may say that now this is at the peak of, or not yet the peak, right? Yeah, but AI is definitely keep going up.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I would turn the table around and then asking all my actuarial colleagues questions. How ready are we to use AI? How ready do we use Gen AI agents that we can apply in our day-to-day work?
Very often we talk about technology and we forget about the people that use this technology, or that we are ready for this, not only as a personal perspective, but also from organizational perspective, which is more tricky one. We could say Excel spreadsheet give a lot of new power for us.
Yes.
It's obvious today that we use Excel, but it was a time there was no Excel, and we jumped to the Excel and speed up our calculation. It's a lot of things that happen, but I didn't see that time that Excel could rapidly change the way organization work.
If we wind the clock back when Excel first being introduced to the market, I would say that's also brought a game-changing effect to the business world, to all the actuaries, as if what AI bringing to us. And through over the years, as we both work on the modeling world, I would tell you that I have seen many different kind of Excels.
Yeah.
We have good Excels, we have messy Excels, we have Excel with lots of
Yeah,
hard code.
it's true.
And I have seen that very complex model, all built in Excel, but they did not realize Excel only being constrained by certain computation technology power that we may not able to process. Yeah, millions or billions of data. That's all go back to human, how we use Excel, and whether we start thinking about what's the best way. And with AI, it's very similar, but with AI, we also need to add the element of a proper guardrail together with governance, ensure that the AI will be supporting, helping us to gain productivity rather than creating another black box or creating another very messy Excel models, like what we have seen in many our previous projects.
If you have a Ferrari, you have to learn how to drive this Ferrari. I mean, you have still a time to learn about it. It's a completely new technology. And you can hit on the first corner with this Ferrari because you think you have a great tool to have fun.
Yeah, but when you mention about Ferrari, because we are actually have a partnership with Ferrari as
good to
Aon.
know.
So I really like you mentioned.
I start to think how to benefit from this.
Yes, I would say a lot of the discussion now I'm having with internally or with our clients on how we can unlock the power of new technology, like pathwise with GPU, how we can use AI to enable to unlock those potential is very critical. But in a lot of our conversation, we didn't just go with what I want the solution to be like, but what questions should I ask and construct a proper step-by-step roadmap. Let me elaborate that further. When you start receiving AI technology, you may think, okay, can I just ask the AI, can you build me an actuarial model? It's just similar to you ask the AI, can you make me a cappuccino? Yeah. Right? But to be honest, if you ask me whether the AI is smart enough now to just receiving this information or this request and then create a model or make a cappuccino, I believe that there's still a long way for this kind of AI to happen. And it should not be just saying it's one AI agent to do the job. It's about the way how we construct our technology with the help of the large language model, the Gen AI, to realize it. And recently, a lot of people already moving on from Gen AI to talk about AI agents. Yeah. And I see that this is a very natural journey that people are going through. Yeah. But with all these AI agents in place, the question now is asking us as actuaries how we want to enable certain AI agents to achieve what we really want to achieve. And we need to have more detailed questions, start bringing up and start constructing the shape of the AI agents that we want. And when we touch on those topics, we will always need to think about the governance behind, how to ensure the AI interact with the human in an appropriate way and without going in a way that creating a black box model.
We are not aware of the full set of possibilities that AI is bringing us to. I strongly believe that starting using AI, we start to learn how to use it, give us a step-by-step new rooms that we can start to consider that AI can be also helpful here and here.
I may add some element you just described so that we can make it more a complete picture. The impact that AI bringing to us, for example, on programming, on processing large amount of data and information to help us create some of our architecture or point of view, they are all exponential. They are all like game changing. A lot of activities, when we work on or try to develop an actuarial model, it may take us days or months to develop a model. With AI, we may finish that within minutes or hours. And with that kind of a game-changing effect, for us, we need to start rethinking what kind of a questions, how we can unlock the power of this kind of a game-changing effect. But at the same time, we can have the full control to the AI, and also we as human can still feel comfortable to say, I am responsible for what the AI created and the numbers generated from AI.
And I think it is a good moment to say that because we use our imagination, we can do a lot, and then we have our local regulator. And I mean, we are talking mainly about the insurance industry. So from this perspective, I'm curious, when you talk with your client, how often they mention about, if you talk about new technology, about how often they said, oh, we have a regulation, we have a very highly regulated market. So do you have such discussion very often with your client and how it is going?
And depends on the roles that the client that we are talking to holding, right?
Yeah.
Because if they are the product development side compared to the capital modeling management, then they will hold a very different view on how the conversation will look like on AI. But if you ask me, after all, like I mentioned before, when we coordinating with clients, coordinating with the regulators is a human-to-human interactions. So it's really critical that when we look at the way we want to use AI, we need to think about how human would interact with AI to generate the content that we can connect and communicate with another human. So these elements cannot be eliminated because after all, we will be talking to the regulators or our clients or the other insurance companies. Leadership, they are human to human conversation. I see this one is really critical. And the way that I see how AI should work will be, we should not just say there's an AI and tell the AI, I give you this document, create an actuarial model which can run in GPU and which can run very fast. I would say if someone say this is the AI technology, they are not being very responsible on what they are creating.
Yeah.
For us, internally, when we think about our AI solution, we think about the way how we can ensure every step when we create a new pathwise model for client, how we can use AI to get that exponential speed gain on programming, on processing through large amount of information and data, but at the same time, creating very specific guardrails, AI agents, so that we can interact with the AI at different steps of a model development process. And for each of the steps, we can ensure our developers or later on we can demonstrate to our client every step is clearly understood by human. We can validate each of those steps. And at the same time, we can make sure the responsibility still sitting with human rather than with the AI. Because if we say, imagine in the future, if we just rely on AI to generate a model, do you think that you can just tell, the AI made something wrong, the AI made mistake, blame the AI? It should never be. Because after all, it will be human to sign off what built by the AI and the numbers generated through AI.
I would like to ask you, do you see the change happen when we start when we talk about technology 3-4 years ago and how it is today? Do you observe any change on the approach that clients come to you with this discussion?
If you look at our industry, after the introduction of Solvency II, for the UK colleagues there, Solvency UK, as well as IFRS 17, a lot of our insurance key stakeholders, they have much better awareness on the complexity. that they need to go through on the technology aspect in order to bring changes or in order to release new products. For example, now a lot of our the client that I've been talking to, they realize there should be technology elements in that kind of a conversation. So this is really true. This is happening. And it makes the work that we have to do to be the catalyst of change more interesting, because I cannot just go and then talk to one stakeholder and say, okay, this is the new technology, use it, it will be a lot faster. It is no longer the case. I need to talk to maybe 5 or even 10 different stakeholders who've been focusing on different aspects within an insurance company, coordinate their thoughts, understanding not just their wish list, but the constraint now they are facing day to day on the technology that they have been using, and then come back with like a holistic solution or holistic view to make sure that things could happen, the change could happen.
Yeah, I agree, because it's a quite complex change, and a lot of players within organizations are involved in this. And I like this approach that you should have understand a different language in quotation mark, but the language is when you talk with CFO, with chief of actuary, with actuaries who develop the models.
Yeah, I quite enjoy the role that I'm playing, because I'm like
hats.
a bridge
Okay,
to connect different stakeholders so that they can understand if we want change to happen, what's the best way to trigger the change to happen, and also make different people develop the awareness, the power that could be generated when we have the change in place.
We're talking about the new technology, mainly about AI, but do you see anything else? Do you have anything on the radar that, looking at from technology perspective, that you think that will start shortly play some kind of role in this journey we have in general or in the insurance? Do you have anything in your mind?
Given that our industry is still largely using or constraining by the CPU technology, I would say that we need to start helping our industry to embrace technology like GPU first.
Okay.
And like I mentioned, I believe that with the AI agenda now, or the AI agents discussion that we just had, will help a lot of insurers to realize they are not being locked by their existing traditional technology. There is a potential with the help of the AI can unlock that and move them into a new architecture, for example, like Pathwise, and that architecture can embrace new technology. For now, I would say GPU, but to be very honest, GPU is nothing new anymore. Yeah, Pathwise been using that for over a decade. Yeah, or to serve client on actuarial modeling. But when I say future-proof architecture, one concept is very critical. The way we create modeling, the actuarial logic that we create in the modeling should not be the deciding factor on how we use the technology. In the past, I observed that a lot of this kind of two aspects being bundled together. So that's why when some of my clients, they say that, wow, I need to rewrite all my actuarial logic, the programming language, in order to embrace new technology. I hope that that would become the past very soon, because if we start with a very future-proof and clear architecture, we can ensure the actuarial technology is, we may say, portable or upgradable flexibly to embrace new technology.
We have a wave of change in technology. I mean, big wave is coming. So looking at the next 3-5 years, the GPU's technology is the main power of this wave for the next 3-5 years, do you think, or is it something else as well?
I would say for our industry, this is not about there's a wave or how big is the wave, and the wave already here. But as actuaries, I don't think we are there yet, because we need to embrace we need to put on our swimming suit so that we can go
And we wait
do the
for the good
surfing.
wave for us, or we see a lot of waves, but we want to choose the right one for us.
If you use that example or the picture that you try to draw, I would say right now, if you look at the market, if you look at the financial industry or even beyond financial industry, a lot of other industry, they are riding on the wave and they are doing something that we could never imagine in the past, like if you look back 5 or 10 years ago. But right now in our industry, as life actuaries, I would say that nothing has changed much compared to the modeling landscape.
On the sand.
10 years or we were there. The wave is all out there now. It's about us as actuaries, whether we can go in and embrace the wave.
Okay, I like it. Okay. And my final question is more about Aon. How all these things we discuss, how this fit to your organization, especially on this technology part?
I would say that Aon has always been supporting clients to address or react to the latest market development, market change. If you look at 10 or 20 years ago, when people start talking about cyber risk, when people 10 years ago, maybe people start talking about climate risk, ESG, and then recently people start talking about AI risk and also data center. This is what Aon been supporting the client along all those journeys. Because just like think about the nature of insurance, wherever there's a demand of new things happened, we need insurance, we need reinsurance to cover those. So that's why this is like in the DNA of Aon to really cover the latest topics in the market. And with the life technology, embedded within the Aon team, I see that we are the catalyst to help actuaries to trigger the change or to embrace the wave that you just described.
Thank you very much for this conversation. I take a lot from this, and I think we have a very common thinking about it, and I think it very much helped when we talk with our clients in the future. So very glad to having you here. Thank you, Kahai, again. Let me only add to this that we, as a KPMG, we have a global tech reports for 2026, where a lot of this kind of things we discuss here is also involved. Thank you very much for your watching.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.